When it comes to any festive party, event, gathering, family do, whatever you want to call it, there's one key question that can shift how you're feeling about being there as a non-drinker. What most of us do, especially in early sobriety, or if you're just toying with the idea of quitting, what most of us do is go there totally focused on the alcohol, thinking about that again and again and what we're not going to have and how that's going to make things weird or awkward or uncomfortable. And then it does. And I get it. I've done all those things and made loads of mistakes. So let me tell you about that key question. And it is this. Ask yourself, what is this event really about? What is it really about? Because it's never really about alcohol. Even when everyone is talking about getting really drunk and how they can't wait to drink, even then, the party isn't really about alcohol. It's always about humans coming together to connect, socialize, and hopefully have fun. If the sole purpose was just to drink alcohol, people wouldn't bother going out. You would just stay at home to do that. You could just sit in an empty room on your own drinking because you'd have everything you needed. There would be no need to dress up or be with other people or leave the house. You could skip all of that. But as it happens, alcohol isn't the center of the universe. So I challenge you to think about each event that's coming up for you in this context and work out what it's really about. So your Christmas meal might be about spending time with family. And that, night out with your best friends, that's just an excuse to catch up and see each other. And that work party is about celebrating with colleagues and spending some time together outside of work. The best time to be asking this question is before you go to the event. Like I always say, if you're going to spend time getting ready for a party, doing your hair or your makeup, then God, you may as well spend some time getting your thoughts sorted out as well. You can even do both at the same time. Just ask yourself, what is this event really about? What's the point of it? Because then you can also ask a great follow-on question, which is, what would I like to get out of this event? And by that I mean, what would make me think when I get home later, this was a good night, I had a good time? Doing this work in advance shifts your focus away from the liquid that is or isn't filling your glass. And it takes you back to the real purpose of these events. And I think it also empowers you to make better decisions and have a better mindset when things aren't going so well. And I will give you an example of this from my life. I went out the other night for a meal with 3 friends to this new restaurant that's opened up in my town that we thought was going to be really cool and great. And I was very keen to try the food there. But fortunately, I asked myself the question, what is this event really about, before I left? And that reminded me that the real point of the evening was to catch up with this particular group of friends who I hadn't seen in quite a while. We'd all had loads of stuff going on, so there was lots to talk about and catch up on, and I totally got to do that, which was great. By focusing on that as the real point of the evening, it meant that when the food came and it was pretty disappointing, nothing special, well, that wasn't a big deal because I'd already decided that that wasn't the main point of the evening. I'd had that conversation with myself in advance. So whilst I won't be rushing back to that restaurant anytime soon, did I still have a good evening and a good time? Yes, I did. And remember this too, if you go out and you're not drinking, let's go back to that topic, you go out, you're not drinking and you don't have a good time, that is not a big deal. That doesn't mean you should drink next time. It just means that there was something about that particular experience that the real you didn't like. And that's a pretty great thing to know, because you get to choose whether you live your life doing the things that you don't want to do, but drinking through it to numb out and take the edge off, or you can choose to be a bit pickier and start choosing things that the real you enjoys. I actually quite like boring parties for that reason, actually, because I always come home thinking, all right, so I didn't have fun, but I learned something there. One of the things that I learned very early on in my sobriety is that personally, for me, when I go to a venue and the music is very loud, so loud I can't talk to anyone, I don't enjoy that. Or I can only tolerate it for a certain amount of time. And by the way, playing loud music is a well-known trick in restaurants and bars. They deliberately turn the volume up because it encourages people to drink more. Why do you drink more? Because you get thirsty shouting over the music, or you become bored and a bit isolated because you can't talk to other people very easily. So you just end up staring into your drink and having more and more. Anyway, I have said quite a lot there, and hopefully I've given you something to reflect on. Those questions again are, what is the event really about? What would I like to get out of this event? And what if it's okay that I have a boring time sober, especially in the early days when I'm just figuring out what the real me does and doesn't like? Because my goodness, if you can tolerate a hangover, I think you can manage the feeling of boredom and discomfort. You can totally handle that, okay? So, I'm Kate B. Wherever you're watching this, please scroll down and let me know in the comments, what has your experience of socializing sober at this time of year been like so far? I would love to hear about it.